Stop scrolling if you are in your 40s and sitting there feeling like you have completely failed at money. You have probably seen the articles. You open your phone on a Saturday morning, your coffee is getting cold, and there is a headline staring back at you claiming the average American in their mid-40s has a net worth of almost $1 million. And right away, that number hits you like a punch to the stomach. You are doing the responsible adult things. You go to work, you pay your bills, you might even have a house and a little bit in a retirement account, but you are nowhere near $1 million. So you sit there wondering if everyone else is secretly rich, or if something is fundamentally wrong with you. Well, I have good news and bad news. The good news is that the $1 million number is a complete statistical lie. The bad news is that the real number isn't much better and the clock is ticking. Let's talk about the word average. When these financial articles calculate the average net worth, they add everyone's money together and divide it by the number of people. It sounds fair, right? But here is the problem. If you put Jeff Bezos and 9 completely broke guys in a room, the average net worth of that room is over $20 billion. It is technically true, but it is practically useless for the rest of us. It is like averaging the net worth of Jeff Bezos and a raccoon in a dumpster. Technically, the raccoon is now a billionaire on paper, but I wouldn't ask him for a loan. To find out where you actually stand, you have to look at the median. The median is what happens when you line everyone up from poorest to richest and look at the person standing exactly in the middle. That is your neighbor. That is you. And the median net worth for a 45-year-old in America right now is roughly $247,000. It is not a million. The number you keep seeing is inflated almost 4 times over by the mega rich at the top. So if you are sitting around $250,000, mathematically, you are exactly in the middle. But before you breathe a sigh of relief, we need to look at what that $250,000 actually is, because it is wearing a very dangerous disguise. Most people hear $247,000 and think it means a pile of cash or a perfectly optimized stock portfolio. It doesn't. Roughly 60 to 70% of that entire net worth is locked inside drywall and roof shingles. It is home equity. That $250,000 safety net isn't money you can actually use. You cannot eat home equity. You cannot pay your electric bill with it. You can't take the deed to your house into the grocery store to buy food when gas is pushing $4 a gallon. If you take that median net worth and subtract the home equity, the actual safety net collapses. You are left with barely enough to cover a few emergencies, let alone fund a 30-year retirement. So if you just mentally did the math on your own accounts and realized most of your wealth is just the house you live in, welcome to the club. It is a massive club, and unfortunately, what is happening inside your actual retirement accounts is worse. Fidelity, one of the biggest retirement managers in the world, publishes a rule of thumb that everyone treats like gospel. They say by age 50, you should have 6 times your annual salary saved up. 6 times. So if you are making the median household income, you should have around $700,000 sitting in your retirement accounts by your 50th birthday. That is the benchmark they want you to measure yourself against. Are you ready for the real number? The median 401k balance for Americans aged 45 to 54 is just over $60,000. You are not at 6 times your income. You are at 0.5 times. You are roughly 10 times behind where the financial industry says you should be. And before you try to comfort yourself by thinking that maybe people have money hidden in other accounts, they don't. When you add up every IRA, every pension, and every 401k, the median total retirement savings is around $115,000. Nowhere near $700,000. and roughly 3 out of every 8 households in their peak earning years have exactly $0 in retirement savings. Zero. If your chest just tightened hearing that, you are having the correct biological response. But here is a plot twist for you. Generation X currently carries the highest total debt load of any generation in America. You are not just behind on savings. You are actively fighting a mountain of high-interest debt. The average Gen Xer is sitting on over $158,000 in debt, which includes the highest credit card balances of any age group, compounding at over 21%. That means your credit card debt is growing faster than your retirement account. Read that sentence again in your head. The credit card is outpacing the 401k. You also have the biggest mortgages, the largest auto loans, and incredibly, 1 in 10 of you are still paying off student loans. But they usually aren't even your own loans. They are Parent Plus loans taken out to help your kids through college, carrying a 9% interest rate that you can barely even refinance. And why is this happening? Are you just irresponsible? Do you buy too much coffee? No. You are stuck in what sociologists call the sandwich generation. More than half of Americans in their 40s are financially supporting an aging parent while simultaneously raising a child or funding an adult child who had to move back home. You are paying for 3 generations out of a single paycheck. Assisted living costs over $6,000 a month, and Medicare doesn't cover it. You are helping pay for memory care while your 24-year-old is sleeping in their childhood bedroom because rent is too high, and you are still trying to pay for your youngest kid's braces. It is structurally impossible to max out a retirement account when you are writing checks to a nursing home and a university at the same time. And this is exactly why the thing most people are quietly hoping will save them is the biggest lie of all. You have probably heard about the great wealth transfer. The idea that older generations are going to pass down $84 trillion over the next couple of decades. If you are behind on your retirement, it is extremely tempting to just tell yourself that you will inherit something eventually and it will all be fine. Let me respectfully take that pillow away from you. While about a third of younger generations expect to inherit money, only 22% of older generations actually plan to leave anything behind. And of that $84 trillion supposedly transferring hands, about 68% comes from households that already have $1 million or more in assets. The wealth transfer is real, but it is extraordinarily concentrated among people who are already rich. For the median American, the inheritance you are likely to get is about $9,700. That is a used car with a check engine light, not generational wealth. On top of that, end-of-life care and nursing homes are eating those estates alive. Every month a parent is in assisted living. That inheritance shrinks by thousands of dollars. Add in the fact that the Social Security Trust Fund is projected to be depleted by 2035, triggering an automatic 23% cut in benefits, and the picture looks incredibly dark. But here is the solution. And it is the reason I am not ending this video by telling you that you are cooked. You still have one thing that is almost impossible to replace: a 20-year compounding window. You do not need to save $3,000 a month to fix this. If you can just squeeze out $800 to $1,000 a month starting today, it can snowball into $500,000 to $600,000 by the time you reach 65. Is that private island money? No. But is it the difference between genuine security and agonizing over the grocery bill at age 72? Absolutely. The worst thing you can do right now is decide that it is simply too late. The math is tight, but it is not hopeless. Make a single phone call to Human Resources, bump your retirement contributions, set up an auto draft, and turn on the compounding machine. The race is not over, But the finish line is not going to wait for you. Hit subscribe if you want real financial math instead of Wall Street fairy tales. Now, let me know in the comments, what is the most ridiculous, out of touch financial advice you have ever been given?